I love the One Piece trading card game, and I love spending money on this game efficiently. Buying singles for your deck has always been the most cost-effective way of playing card games. But what if we just throw that all away? In this series, we aim to build a competitive One Piece deck using only official sealed product as well as trading. With a budget of only $30 a week, can we become the king of the pirates? This is One Piece from scratch. Welcome back, Pirates, to the OP 8.5 format. We're expecting a large shift in the meta, and especially at our local scene. Lucci has been a super popular deck at the shop, but recently, more eyes have actually been on blue Doffy and purple Luffy. I'm really looking forward to learning these matchups and also how we can adapt our deck to play into those matchups more effectively. But for now, we've got some starter deck upgrades of our own. We did get our hands on one Smoker structure deck. Unfortunately, we were only able to find one, but fortunately for us, a lot of the relevant cards that we need do come in playsets. A lot of the common cards, I think Ice Age comes as a playset, so we're going to stick with one for now. Of course, we're going to be hunting the second one, but hey, that's only $12 of the budget, right? Right? So what else did we spend the budget on? Well, I did find this Devil Fruit collection at my local Target. Considering the display alone goes for like 15 bucks on TCG Player lowest, I think we can just parse out this and take the contents from inside. So what do we get in here? We get OP4, we get 4 packs of OP4, 1 pack of OP3, a Don, and some sleeves. Why did I go for this? Well, for one, variety. I think that opening some other stuff other than, set 8 to try and hunt for Jack is going to be pretty healthy for the series, as well as Sabo is in this, and it's not reprinted in PRB outside of, the manga, so it's going to be pretty worthwhile to try and dip our feet into OP4 for that. OP3 doesn't really have much in it. Everything in there is, well, pretty much everything in there is reprinted in PRB, so there's not going to be a whole lot of value here, but again, there are a lot of the CP cards in there, so we can probably get stuff like Khalifa, but only working with 1 pack, so probably not, but we'll see. Remember to always practice safe scissoring and cut away from the body, always away. Huzzah! We have the Smoker as well as a pack of PRB, which is going to be very exciting. Initially, I didn't know that PRB was going to be in the structure deck, lumped in it with it as well, but hey, we have a pack of PRB, so hopefully we've got a God pack in here. Probably not, so we're just going to hope for some good black cards. We've got like the Kuzan in there, Borsalino, all the Admirals, so hopefully something good's going to be in there, but what should we start with? Should we start with the structure deck or the packs? Let's start with the structure deck because I could yap about stuff in the structure deck as we're opening the packs. All right, so of course we have our, let's get it into frame here. We've got our leader Smoker. Honestly, it's a pretty decent leader. We might play around with it, but for now we're going to stick with our Luffy leader, but the fact that we can branch out into Smoker is going to be pretty good for us. Of course, we have Tashigi. It is leader locked to Smoker. The activate main is not locked to Smoker. If this character was played this turn, trash up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. But to use that in our deck specifically, we're going to have to pair it with stuff like Ice Age. So we're probably not going to be playing this Tashigi, but if we ever do switch to Smoker, we're definitely going to be throwing this in. So we get 2 copies of this. The main card we're looking for is Hina. Hina's crazy. Dawn times 1, opponent's turn, this character gains 4 costs, so she's already going to be super tanky. Activate main, you may place 1 card from the trash to the bottom of your deck. Give one of your rested Dawn to a leader or one of your characters. So this will also turn on our leader effect. So on our 5 Dawn turn going first, we can drop this, put a Dawn under it, and then use its activate main to give a Dawn to our leader. So it's going to be a 9 cost. So this is going to be really good for the mid game. So this is what I'm talking about when we're going to be bridging the mid game of our strategy. So Hina, awesome card. And of course we get 2 of them. So we're going to place them over here. I actually have not read this Smoker yet. On play, you may trash 1 Black Navy card from your hand. Up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Not bad, but that would mean that we have to stick mainly with our Navy stuff, so I think we're going to put this on the back burner for now. We do get a playset of that, which is cool, I guess. We have Sengoku. Trash 2 black navy cards from your hand. If your leader has navy, draw 3 cards. Unfortunately, we do not have leader navy, or we're not going to be playing it for a while. Blocker, Monkey D. Garp, 3/4K. Activate main, you may place 1 card from your trash at the bottom of your deck. Give one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. Honestly, this might replace the Nami. It's going to be pretty good to get some cost minus in our deck, so we'll consider it. We'll throw it over here. We'll see how the build develops. We have Kobe. Trash 1 card from your hand, KO one of your opponent's characters with cost of 3 or less. So this is actually going to be pretty decent. We're going to see if it makes it in. I think as just generic removal, it's going to be pretty decent. The trash 1 card from our hand does hurt a little bit, but we'll see if this also makes it in there. So again, we're going to put it under the Garp. Some heavy hitters from the structure deck is the Suru. We do get a playset of the Suru. It's a 2K. Give one of your opponent's characters cost -2, and we do get a whole playset. This is going to be awesome as a 2K and a pull off of Moria as the 2 or less rested. So we're going to be able to pop stuff. Great card here. We've got the Rosinante blocker from OP2. We're probably not going to be playing that. And then Vanilla Helmeppo. Let's see Helmeppo. It's been a while since I've read this card. When attacking, already kind of iffy. Give one of your opponent's characters -2 cost, and then if there is a character with a cost of 0, this character gains 2,000 power during this turn. Probably not going to include it. We have a 3/5 Vanilla Ice Age. We do get this as a playset, which is huge. Give one of your opponent's characters -5 cost during the turn. That's going to be awesome, especially paired with our Sanji. That means we're popping up to 10 costs. So assuming it's not Jack or like a 10 cost with extra cost from a Black Luffy leader, this is pretty much going to be popping anything in the game with Sanji. So the fact that we get a playset, very nice. We're definitely going to include that. We also get a 2K Virgo. We're probably only going to be using this as a 2K. A 5/5 stat line is not going to be very useful, but with brand new, its searchable 2K is going to be very good. And speak of the devil, we do get brand new. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a navy card other than brand new added to your hand, and trash the rest. So this is going to be one of the greatest cards in our deck. Honestly, it's so weird to see it as a common card. I'm so used to seeing it as a rare or, you know, the alt art, but hey, we will take what we can get, and that is a lot of cards that we're going to be throwing into our deck already just based off of the structure deck alone. That's why we're very excited for this. Some potential ads as well. We're going to also see what we get from our packs. On to our packs. I think we're going to do it like this. We're going to save the PRB for last. I feel like that's going to be that's going to have a lot of the most exciting stuff. We'll start with OP3. Again, the only thing we're really looking for here are some CP cards. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of value. Maybe we can get some trade bait. Even the secret rare Katakuri is going down real hard because of PRB. So we're not really trying to find much in here. Speed Jill, Tropical Torment, Fukuro, a blocker that cannot be KO'd. It is CP9, so it's not Navy, so probably not going to be adding, but we'll throw it over there. It is black card. Thatch, Shirley, Kokoro, and Kaya. Okay, so Kaya is actually really good trade bait. I didn't even think of it as a card that's in here. I kind of forgot that it's OP3, but we could trade that off pretty reliably, so honestly pretty decent. We're gonna throw these over here like that. Okay, Manga Sabo would be awesome, but a man can dream. Dellinger, Golden Week, a Vanilla, Rabian, the Carpet, Otama, the Stadium. Oh yeah, Dressrosa's in here as well. I forgot about that. Apis, cool card in Nami, but Nami's not really something on my radar right now. We got Color Traps. And ooh, whoa, alt 10 cost Doflamingo. Now that is a little bit of really good trade bait. So yeah, really glad we decided to throw in the OP4 as well. That's gonna be we could probably move that pretty fast. Awesome. Moving on to the next pack. Manga. Banana Gator, Sanji, Dellinger, Nami, Tonyasu, Doflamingo family, Playgrounds, Mr. 3, the Dance, Queen, Sealed Only Blue-Yellow Queen. How about it? Kinemon and Igaram. Nothing pretty cool there. Let's do that. How about that? And then the little bit that we've all been waiting for, PRB. I'm really excited for this set. And hey, look, we've got a... Oh, wait, yeah. All these packs come with Dawn, so... Okay, we've got a Brule, Gavel, Ivankov, Upper Yard, Izo. Honestly, pretty decent. I might just pull this out as trade bait. 3000 Worlds will also pull out. Yamato is pretty cool. I actually need this for like a few of my other decks, but we'll throw it in as trade bait for the sake of the series. Ooh, that's pretty cool. We've got a Neko alt art. Is this alt? Yeah, I think this is the alt art and not just the extended art. That is really cool. And then a Holo Don Quixote family. It's got the little straw hat holographic on it. I don't know if you can really see it from my camera. And our Dawn is the Sabo Dawn, so pretty cool. Yeah, this is a pretty awesome opening. We got the Sabo Dawn, and of course with the Devil Fruit collection, we did get the Crocodile Dawn, if I could open stuff properly. Wow, okay. And we did get a lot of stuff we could add and some cool cards as well. We got a huge overhaul to our deck, so we're just going to do a card by card. We're not going to necessarily talk about every card, but we're going to talk about why I'm including it or excluding it from the deck. So a lot of our Straw Hat package actually stays the same. We're keeping 4 of the Sanji, 4 of the Nico Robin. I think these cards are going to be pivotal to our deck, especially the Sanji being able to pop a 5 cost, especially in the mid game, is going to be really good. The Nico Robin, if we can get it established, is going to provide to us a lot of value, so I think our inclusion there is still going to be warranted, especially because we're also going to be including 3 copies of the Thousand Sunny. This is a card that I was wondering if I should cut down or not, but ultimately I decided I did want it in there, because going first, if we establish this on our 1 Dawn turn, our 5 Dawn turn, even without a Dawn on our Luffy, will mean that Sanji is still going to be popping a 5 cost. So I think just being able to keep that on pace is going to be really good. Additionally, Dawn on our leader and our Robin will be pushed up to an 8 cost. So even though it's just floating at that 8 cost, and if it gets cost minus even a little bit, then it's going to be offline. But I think the fact that this is able to push it up to 8 is going to be really good. We also have 2 copies of the Monkey D. Luffy. I think it just makes sense. It's a little bit of our top end. We don't want to be cutting too much of it out just yet. And we do need the Thousand Sunny to be able to use its effect, because it does require a 10 cost. So we can achieve an additional 10 cost outside of this card. If we use something like a Kaido, 1 Dawn on our leader, and then play this, then the Kaido will act as our 10 cost, or if we have Jack on the field, then that'll be a 11 cost, 12 cost with our Dawn on our leader. But I think just being able to have the extra cost come from here, 1 cost come from here, and then make this an 8-10, push it up to a 10 cost with Rush is just going to be really good. And I'm still keeping in 2 copies of the Nami. I do like Nami, but I think it's going to be phased out once we're able to get our hands on Rebecca, so this is kind of like our 2nd and 3rd copy of Rebecca, at least for now. That's going to be it for the Straw Hat package. Let's move on to the Navy package. This is going to be the biggest upgrade to our deck so far. So we're going to start off with 4 copies of Brand New and all of our searchable 2Ks. We've got 4 copies of Suru, 4 copies of Tashigi, 1 copy of T-Bone. We're still trying to round that out, but until then we have 3 copies of Virgo in his place. Additionally, we also have 4 copies of the Ice Age and 4 copies of Kobe. Now, Kobe at 4 seems very excessive, but for us and the From Scratch series, since it's going to be a little bit harder to get our hands on Brook, EB is just generally hard to get our hands on, as well as Brook is just very expensive. I think that it's going to be really good. Additionally, it's going to be very good in the early to mid game, being able to deal with our opponent's board as we're building our own board. Of course, we still have the Isho from prior episodes. He's going to be a mainstay in our deck going forward. High cost, high statted character with a really good on-play effect to rip 2 cards out of our opponent's hand, as well as give cost minus to all of our opponent's characters. The biggest upgrade, however, is going to be Deck Mommy Hina. So she's awesome. There's a lot of great interactions that we'll talk about in a bit with her, but just in general, being able to give our leader an extra Dawn, or one of our characters an extra Dawn, so our leader effect is going to be online, and herself counting as an 8 cost with a Dawn on her, 9 cost with our Luffy is going to be very good for us. And the last card in our Navy package is going to be the Monkey D. Garp. This is a card that I really want to try out as kind of that 4th copy of Rebecca, just the blocker slot. I think the fact that we are able to give one of our opponent's characters -1 cost and still have it as a blocker is going to be really impactful. To round out with the rest of our cards, our more support, we have the 9-cost Kaido. He's been one of our MVPs last week in locals. Of course, we've got our Moria. Of course, we want to be trying to round out our playset of Moria, especially since we have a lot of more relevant stuff that we can be pulling off of Moria. We have our Deck Daddy Jack. Of course, we're going to also try and round this card out because going second, being able to go 7 Dawn, and then 1 Dawn on our leader, have this count as a 12 cost is just going to be really good. We've got our 1 copy of Who's Who, just as another 2k. It's not searchable, but the fact that we can use its effect to trash 1 card and then KO with 3k or less is still going to be really relevant. So, and of course, one of our other MVPs, Rebecca, being able to grab a 3-7 and then play a 3 or less is just really good, especially with our Moria. And now that we have Kobe, for example, this is going to put a lot of value. So I don't know if we should go after Rebecca or Gecko Moria first, but these are 2 cards that we really want to get our hands on besides, Jack. And then an update to our Dawn deck. We did upgrade the sleeves to the ones that we got from the Devil Fruit collection. We still have 5 slots open for new Dawn, but of course as we get our hands on the PRB set, every pack of that comes with a Dawn guaranteed. And then for the Dawn that we do have 2 of the Whitebeard Dawn, the Crocodile Dawn that we got from the Devil Fruit pack, as well as the Kaido Dawn and the Sabo Dawn that we got from the PRB. This is what we're going to be rocking with. I do want to go over some interactions, so hold on tight for that. So I'm seeing a lot of buzz about how some of the new structure deck cards will go into Smoker, how people are deck building with that, but I want to talk about how this Hina card affects our deck in particular. I'm not seeing a whole lot of videos about that quite yet, so I want to be talking about this, just let it be known. So, for example, we already talked about on our 5 Dawn turn, we can pay 4 Dawn for our Hina, put 1 Dawn on our leader, and then use Hina's effect to give herself 1 Dawn to boost her up to 9 cost, 4 native. The Dawn on her will give her an extra 4 cost, and then our leader will give her another 1 cost, turning our leader effect online as early as the 6 Dawn turn off of just 1 card. So Hina also helps our going second curve, especially with how it works with Sanji. So let's just show a sample going second curve. On our 2 Dawn turn, we can play brand new, search for our Hina if we don't already have it. On our 4 Dawn turn, we can play the Hina and give 1 Dawn to our Luffy, boosting her up to 5 cost for the turn. If we do have our Hina sticking, then on our 6 Dawn turn, we can go 1 Dawn on our leader, and then the rest of the 5 Dawn to go to our Sanji, and then Hina effect give herself a Dawn. So what that accomplishes there is 1 Dawn on our leader will push our Sanji up to a 6 cost so he can pop a 5 cost or lower, and then the 1 Dawn on our Hina will turn on our leader effect. So optional if we want to swing with this Hina or not. If we choose not to swing with the Hina, then we don't risk it getting swung into on our opponent's crackback turn. But if we have Sanji especially, then we're anticipating that our opponent's board is going to be thinned out a little bit, and our leader effect is additionally online, so we have a 7k swing. Coming to our 8 Dawn turn, we could all still play an 8 cost on curve, and because we have the Hina effect to give a rested Dawn to one of our leader characters, we can give it to our Luffy and still have our leader effect online, not through our Hina, but through our new 9 cost, the 8 cost that we played plus the 1 cost from our leader effect. So overall, Hina just strengthens our deck a whole lot, being able to play stuff on curve while still getting our leader effect online. Next, I want to talk about some of our Moria plays and why we want to be getting our hands on more Morias. So let's say that we play a Moria on our 8 Dawn turn and we don't have an extra Dawn to give to our leader. Well, we do have Hina as a 4 cost, so if we have Hina in our trash, and let's say a brand new in our trash as well, we can play the Hina and then play the brand new, use the brand new to get hopefully more counter, and then use the Hina effect to give our leader a rested Dawn. And now even on our 8 Dawn turn, we're able to establish an 8 cost boosted to 9 with our leader effect, and our leader effect is online during our opponent's turn, so that's really strong. Another Gecko Moria play that we can make is play Rebecca and Suru. Suru being able to give -2 cost to one of our opponent's one of our opponent's characters, and then Rebecca grabbing back the Kobe and then playing the Kobe effect to trash 1 card and KO a 3 cost or less. So that's going to be 2 cost plus 3, that's going to be a 5 cost, which isn't the highest number in the world, but we are able to clear bodies with Moria. That doesn't give us a Dawn on our leader, unfortunately, so this is probably better on, let's say, an odd curve, where we can still commit 1 Dawn to our leader, or if we have Hina on board already. Coming into round 1, we're playing against our GOAT Amos, and he's playing Chopper. He's been my brother-in-arms playing red decks, but unfortunately, as you can tell, I've switched to the dark side, playing black now. He's decked out with all his Chopper gear, his Chopper sleeves, Chopper Dawn, Chopper everything. He's a huge Chopper fan. Super cool Dawn, but does he know? I think the way we're supposed to approach this matchup is by swinging into his board, almost like we're starving him out, as well as using all of our characters that have popping effects to be popping his board, especially that 3-cost Chopper that plays other Choppers, or other animals, excuse me. And here he could have used his leader effect to also give Kureha an extra Dawn, but I think he just didn't see that line of play. Out of life, we're going to see an Ice Age, and I'm just going to rip it to remove the Robinson. That's an extra body that we don't have to get off of the board through swings. And then we're just going to be applying pressure. That Ice Age allowed my Kobe to swing, so it doesn't have to swing into the Robinson instead. So that was pretty huge. Coming back to Chopper's turn, we're going to see another Robinson and then leader effect to give it an arrested Dawn, and then using the rest of the active Dawn to be attaching to the characters. And then we see a swing with the leader first, which it should have been with the Robinson first, and we see exactly why. We see another Ice Age from life, and then the Robinson goes down before it has the opportunity to swing. Since I'm not seeing a whole lot of pressure from our opponent's board, I'm able to go super wide here, commit a lot of 5k swings into my opponent's life, and then finishing with a 6k swing there. And then I do play the Sanji, only being able to pop the Kureha. It doesn't get a whole lot of crazy value, but it was just sitting in my hand, and I'm still ahead on tempo, so I'm pretty comfortable playing it there. But on the crackback, we do see Chopper drops 2 blockers, one from the starter deck 1 and the other one from EB01. Looking at this game state, my opponent has 2 blockers, a decent amount of cards in hand, and 1 life, so I'm pretty confident that I can't actually push for game this turn, so we're just going to be applying pressure. And I know that all these swings are either going to demand the blockers on board or cards in hand, so I'm pretty comfortable swinging there. And I do find the Kobe to pop a blocker, which is actually really huge.
I'm sorry, how'd you get second?
Very nice.
Oh, I see. 2 ones. They were all spread out.
I'm gonna kill him so you rid of all your life.
Just like, you just put down
Absolutely amazing play there by Amos, trying to clear the rest of my life by KOing my leader. Somehow I made it out alive, and on my crackback turn, I'm just going to start swinging, and that's GG's.
and that when the 09 Straw Hats come out, it will then be much better than traditional.
It should have been Manga Waffle. I'm not gonna lie. Manga Waffle, this guy. Get a load of this guy.
Round 2, we're paired against Wapple House himself, so we already know that we have to give him the extra Wapples that we pulled from today's opening. He is on blue Doffy, which is something we haven't really ran into yet in the series, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of plays I make and what ways I try and adapt to it. This is the first time in a while that I played against Doffy, nonetheless the first time I've played against Doffy in the 8.5 format. And I think the way we have to approach this matchup is by trying to remove as many bodies as possible using our effects. So for example there, I used the Zoro to minus the Weevil and then use Kobe to pop it. It does feel bad that that took 3 cards out of my hand, but I think it is necessary to keep pace with Doflamingo, especially considering how fast this deck can produce bodies. Ideally in this matchup we do want to be seeing a lot of these Sanji cards, since that will be able to pop a card and then keep pace with our opponent. If we do go first, we do need the stage in order to push our Sanji up to a 6 cost in order to get it to popping effect, but if we do go second, we can put 1 down on our leader and then push our Sanji up to 6 cost that way. Even with that in mind, cards like Jinbei will still be able to let Doffy produce bodies faster than we can clear them, so I think the ideal strategy is not really to control the board and starve our opponent, but maintaining our board enough to where we can still apply pressure with our characters. I haven't previously read a whole lot of the Doflamingo starter deck cards, but man, that teach is actually really insane, being able to every turn put 2 Dawn on your leader, rested Dawn that is, and then still being able to put 1 card from your hand to the top of the deck so you know that whatever you pull off of Doflamingo leader effect will just go onto the field. I think that's super insane. And on top of that, that lets your Perona mainly dictate what you're going to be drawing every turn as opposed to what you're going to be stacking to get off of leader effect, since you know that Teach is always going to put something from your hand onto the top of the deck. We really didn't see a whole lot of our mid-game strategy, whether that be the Sanji as we discussed, or Hina. Hina would have been able to turn our leader effect online, meaning that our leader goes up to a 6k during our opponent's turn, and that inherently removes some of the pressure from Doffy, knowing that a lot of the bodies that Doffy's going to be playing are going to be at that 5k range. And that means that our opponent would have to commit more Dawn to swing with their characters every turn, or more Dawn to swing with their Doflamingo leader to get more optimal numbers. Instead of 7 into 5, they'd have to do 8 into 5, or else I'm just giving a 2k for every swing coming from the leader. Ice Age out of life is going to pop the Martial D Teach, but it's too little too late, and we just scoop it up here. GG's. Coming into Game 3, it's versus Lucci, piloted by my buddy Brody. And I did lend them this deck because he doesn't really play all too often. He's a little bit newer to the game, so unfortunately for him, I do know pretty much every card in his list. And this is a matchup that I really wanted to see fold out, especially with the new additions like the Hina we just played. Hina being able to push herself up to a 9 cost means that our opponent's leader swing will not bring it down below the 8 cost threshold, so they're going to have to apply some more cost minus to be able to break our leader effect. So it's going to be online throughout the duration of our turn unless they do commit that extra cost reduction. And we do see our opponent does drop the Kaku here, just trying to get a body on board, so that means our Hina is going to stick, meaning that we're going to be able to use her Activate main to give one of our characters or leader an extra Rested Dawn, and this is just going to be exactly what we described in the combo lines section of this video. And we see a wide open board from our opponent, so I don't really fear swinging in with our Hina here. The only attacking pressure that our Hina would face would be the leader swing from our opponent. And if that were to happen, I'm more than willing to give counter for that swing, just being able to keep our Hina on board and getting more value from it the turn following. Seeing cost reduction onto the Sanji means that it's probably going to be pop, which we do see it happen here, so that means our Hina is in fact going to stick, so we're going to be able to push it up to a 9 cost and get our leader effect online for very cheap. In retrospect, I could have sequenced this turn a little bit more optimally. I could have put a Dawn on my leader to push the Sanji up to a 6 cost, then with the Rested Dawn use Hina's effect to attach one to herself or to lead to be a little bit more efficient, but considering that both swings connected to life, the outcome would have been the same either way. We do see Lucci do the Faded 21 Dawn for 8 combo, Moria into Rebecca Helmeppo, Helmeppo lower Sanji, Rebecca grab back the Spandine, play Spandine, and then Spandine play Lucci. And it doesn't really get a whole lot of board clear since my character's costs are rather beefy, so to us, seeing this combo isn't really the worst. To us, this really means that our opponent has established a wide board that we have to crack through, and fortunately for us, we do have the tools to at least chip away at it. I do use the Ice Age to lower the Moria to be able to clear the Moria. It is a little bit of overkill considering that Kaido does pop a 7 cost and 7 plus 5 is 12. But that does mean that we're clearing a huge body, and on top of that we used Hina's effect to give a Rested Dawn to our leader, so our leader effect is online even though we already spent all 10 Dawn on the Ice Age plus Kaido. And we do see that on our opponent's crackback turn they are going to clear our Kaido using a Kaido of their own. But that means they aren't able to establish any sort of defense. I think I would have felt really threatened if I saw a Rebecca grab back Sabo and then play Sabo to have 2 guaranteed blocks, but coming back to my turn, we have 1 life left to go through, 2 swings, so that's GG's. Coming into Game 4, this is going to be versus Zoro, piloted by my buddy Ryan. And like Brody, he only comes out very occasionally, so this is going to be another deck that I have built myself that I lent out to him. So unfortunately for him, I do know pretty much every card in his deck, but I haven't played Zoro or played against my list of Zoro in a while, so I kind of forget that some things are and aren't in there. And I think as a black player, you kind of do have to respect Zoro, especially with their ability to use Janbei to go through all of your blockers, so you're not even safe if you establish a very wide defense. So that's something I had to be a little bit more careful of, and I will be considering more often. Something quick to note is you'll see me give counter before swings are declared, at least that's what it looks like. He does declare the swings vocally, and then I give counter for it, and then he flips them afterwards, so at least from the viewer's perspective, it looks a little weird. I am able to keep up tempo with our opponent. We do have a weenie of our own to be able to swing into our opponent's weenies in brand new. And on top of that, I did see the Sanji, meaning that we don't have to commit our leader swing into some of the weenies, so we can just convert that into more damage. And after I see the Kid Killer, I'm kind of reminded that, oh yeah, he does get an extra 2k when our opponent is at 2 or less life. So I decide to slow down the game, keep him there at that 3 life threshold, and then just clear the rest of his bodies. The Isho being able to grab the Janbei as well as the Rad Beam out of hand was actually huge. That takes away some of our opponent's most impactful defense as well as some of our opponent's most valuable offense, being able to clear our life with some of our rush, or some of their rush characters, and then Janbei onto leader for game, so that feels really good. Since we did see the Radical Beam out of hand, I'm feeling pretty confident that we can start going a little bit more wide with our swings, being able to demand more cards out of hand, or start to take some of the life so that next turn I can just OTK. Ice Age into Rebecca grab back at 2k, and to Kobe popping the dragon is going to mean that I'm going to establish a good defense as well as remove a pivotal part of his game strategy off of the board. What he really needed there was enough rush as well as another Jambe to be able to clear the life as well as go through the Rebecca blocker, but unfortunately when it comes back to my turn, I've got 5 bodies on field and he's only got 2 life, so I'm able to clear it all here, and that's GG's.
What is this?
It's just like a... It comes with some decent cards. It's like they try and push some of the meta-relevant cards in here for reprints. Mine was Doo-Doo Dog Water.
What'd you get?
Ace.
Yeah, doo-doo.
Low-key, if I get... Oh, there's a leader. If it's Lucci, I'm going crazy. Perona. Fan card.
Okay.
You're gonna play basically blues. You're either gonna play Sakuna or you're gonna play Dojo or you're gonna play Sakuna. I'm gonna play Sakuna. It's not bad. How much do you rate that? A lot. A whole lot. I want to scam you.
Trash, fraud.
So we ended the day at 3-1, pushing our overall record to 10-8, so we're back in the green. The boost in power from the Smoker structure deck is super noticeable, so overall I think that was an amazing pickup for us. Next week we actually have a super special off-meta tournament at our locals where our leader is actually banned. Is this the end for our SD14 Luffy? Tune in next week to find out. Thank you so much for watching the video. Are you having fun with the new structure deck cards? Which decks are you excited to play in the new format? I'd love to hear all of it in the comment section down below. And while you're there, you should like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with each new release. I'm super excited to grind the OP 8.5 format and to share my journey with all of you. Until next time, drink your water, pass out love, hugs, kisses, mwah! End video.